Hey everybody, it is me, Josh Bluebeard Bentley, and as you may or may not know, I'm a developer advocate here at SAP. I focus on things like open source technology, BTP runtimes, as well as SAP Build. Through the great connection that I have to my colleagues, Dan Robleski and uh, Rekha, as well as Srini, we all talk about SAP Build a lot. And there's been a lot of build up to this Devtoberfest session because we've got a lot of things going on with Devtoberfest. We're just in week one, and this is the fourth session, I believe, on SAP Build today. We're going to have a guest I'll introduce in a second. Before I get to that, I wanted to mention that this is week one of Devtoberfest, and as you know, it is 4 weeks long. It is a celebration for developers by developers, but anybody can join. And the reason that anybody can join is because they can watch these sessions. At the end of the day, we'll post a validation question where you can earn points. You can also do tutorials to earn points in our contest. We have a contest every year. And a little bit of a spoiler alert. The speaker today is a Devtoberfest winner. So he contributed a lot of activity to Devtoberfest a couple of years ago, and he got to be one of our grand prize winners. So I'll let him talk about that later. But we're going to take a break this year. It's interesting. October 8th and 9th is Tech Ed. So we've decided to do bookends where we are doing one half of Devtoberfest before Tech Ed and one half after. So you'll be able to watch us virtually at the Tech Ed virtual event. It is a global SAP Tech Ed, October 8th and 9th, being broadcast live from Heidelberg, Germany. So please register for that if you haven't already and join it. And then as soon as that's over, we're going to all travel home and get right back to 2 more weeks of Devtoberfest. So 4 weeks, 5 days of content with a different subject every day. Today, though, we're talking about SAP Build, and in this session, you're going to learn how Nagarro extended S/4HANA Cloud using SAP Build Process Automation alongside other SAP BTP technologies. I'll let the speaker talk all about that. His name is Fabien. Fabien works as an SAP BTP architect at Nagarro, an IT services and consulting company and SAP partner. About 10 years ago, he started as a classic ABAP consultant. I personally don't know what ABAP is myself. I never really code on it. But when I started with SAP, I learned that it's pretty darn important to our audience and people love it. So he's a classic ABAP consultant. And then 4 years ago, he embarked on his SAP BTP journey. 2 years ago is when he became a Devtoberfest Grand Prize winner. He's got a passion for playing the piano. He loves to travel. So just really great guy. And I can't thank him enough for being here and being one of our presenters, because I love when an SAP employee steps back and we let a partner or a customer present what they've learned and actually put into use in the real world with a real world use case that is live for customers. So that's it for me. I'm going to hand it over now to Fabien. He can start his screen sharing in his video. And Fabien, the audience is all yours.
Hello, Josh, and thanks for welcoming me today. So I just share my screen. Give me 1 sec. Okay, perfect. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. Go right ahead.
Perfect. Okay, so thanks for this introduction. I guess it was quite complete. I have nothing to add, so I will just start. So yeah, Devtoberfest is really a special event to me, because I said 2 years ago I won the grand prize with 10 other winners, and yeah, we went to California. We visited this SAP office at Newport Beach. We met Thomas Young with another colleagues from Nagarro, who was 2 winners from Nagarro actually, with that. And we had a lot of fun. We learned a lot of things, and we also spent 1 full day in Disneyland. So quite amazing, and thanks a lot, really, for offering this to all developers. It's really cool. So now, for me, it's time to, let's say, give back something to you, and that's why I decided to present a session today, and I hope it will be interesting for all of you. So if you have no question, I can start with the presentation.
Now you go right ahead, and if there are questions in the chat, we'll feed those over to you later.
Okay, perfect. So just quick figures about Nagarro. So Nagarro, we are a global digital engineering company. It's not well known, but we work actually on a very big project, like the lightning system for the Statue of Liberty. So we did this at Nagarro. We have more than 18,000 colleagues around the world. We are spread in 37 countries. And the annual revenue last year was a bit more than $1 billion US. And what we have in common today is we all share one ERP, which is SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud. And it's really important because we can leverage capabilities from this SAP Public Cloud system to now build solution leveraging BTP. Okay. So everything started actually 1 year ago. I had a phone call from one of our leaders asking me, okay, Fabien, you are doing a lot of BTP project for customers, and actually we would like to run one project internally. We have a lot of troubles with our billing process. We need to improve, blah, blah, blah. And then that's how it started 1 year ago. So as said, we are located in 37 countries. Each countries right now manage their billing operation, let's say themselves. But for three of them, everything is managed by a central billing team. And that's three countries in purple. So we have France, we have Denmark, and Germany, which is its country mainly focused on SAP business unit. Okay. So we decided to first start this project with those three first countries. Just a bit of process. I'm technical, but I will try to explain how it works from a functional perspective, let's say. So as consultant on daily basis, we have an application to just put our time registration. So it's just basically, okay, I spend 1 hour for this customer, and, 2 hours for this one, and so on. Then on monthly basis, our billing team will create debit or credit memo requests. So it could be for flat fees. Let's say if it's for license, it would be flat fees. Each month we invoice the same amount. Or if it's based on time registration, it will be for services. Okay. So when we have this credit or debit memo request, billing team will create a billing document, and they will post this billing document. So this way we have all entries in our journal entry. So we can recognize, okay, we should get this amount from the customer. So then start the biggest problem. So they download manually invoice document, and then for each project on work package and so on, they need to say, okay, it's this project or delivery manager. So they will send an email to request an approval to this project or delivery manager manually. Then the project or delivery manager will have to review this document to send back an email to say, okay, I validate or not this invoice. And then the billing team will again review answers. When they do not get answers, they have to like chase or do some follow-up based on an Excel sheet. And then when everything is okay, they can send again manually an invoice to the customer and update baseline date on SAP, and it's for the billing process. Okay, so lot of manual tasks. It's really tedious. So main challenges was, so everything is fully manual. We have very bad traceability. So in case we have to run some audits, you have to manage through emails, Excel sheets, so it's not very good. We have no KPI, so the process took more than 2 weeks sometimes. Since everything is manual, we have some risks to do some errors. So it's tedious, time consuming. And Nagarro is very good company, so we have kind of billing document increase in terms of volume by 20% each year. And just for those two countries, in 2024, we just issue more than 15,000 invoices. And 7 people are working on this right now. So it means without improving this process, we will need to just hire more and more consultants for doing just low-level works. Okay. So really, I was quite surprised to discover this internal process with the team. I mean, you are not expecting this in 2023. So we try with my team to move from, let's say, Stone Age. It's not real Stone Age, but since everything is manual, let's call it this way, to a digital world. So our focus was to build first a secure solution because everything is on the cloud. So we need to ensure we'll not have any security issue. We want a stable solution because most of the time we are just focused on customer topic, not internal. So we cannot spend like 5 days per week on working on issues. So it needs to be as stable as possible, reliable, efficient. We need to eliminate all those manual tasks. One of the main points was to build this solution in a, let's say, short time frame with a low TCO. So we had to choose some specific services to avoid too expensive costs. And since it's really focused on SAP, we just leverage our BTP expertise across Nagarro. Okay. Just before going to the technical stuff, I will try to first show you how it looks from a user perspective. And okay. So for this, we have already created 2 billing documents in our test system. And then so we just basic billing document and just related to, let me check, SAP Devtoberfest. So if you don't mind, Josh, I will send this to you after the session. Gonna be not expensive, but let's see. Okay, so billing document is posted. So one of the main parts as a user is this SAP work zone. So with several different applications, but main one is the inbox. So if we go to the inbox, yep. Okay. So here we can see, I guess it's the same document number. Yeah. So 359, it's 359, perfect. And with a quick look, we can see, okay, it's for this customer. Posting date was yesterday, actually. We have the amount, project ID. We know who is the project manager or PCEO by default. At this stage, you can just leave it this way, or you can replace. Because if you know, okay, maybe it's not accurate or up to date, you can change it here. In case you have specific application, but in case you have some specific note for specific customer, you will get all details here. So here we have just one work package. We have a specific here application. We just display the invoice document. Yeah, perfect. So here we can see, see just classic invoice. It's quite interesting because actually we have more than 200 users using this solution, but only 3 or 5 of them have a specific SAP license or authorization. So thanks to some specific service, we are able to just download this invoice on the fly and to display it on this custom application. So you can This also here share some information. So just give you invoice. It's also possible here at this stage to add some extra documents. And yeah, that's it. So here it's really the first screen. So it's, if you remember the process I showed to you. So this one is done by the billing team. Okay, so they just review everything is fine before asking the approval from the project manager. So you just submit. Okay. Then since I'm also the project manager, so I will just wait a few seconds and it should appear here. So every 15 minutes by default, we are also sending an email to all participants, workflow participants, to say, okay, you have a new task to validate. Please open this inbox and blah, blah, blah. By default, it's not something, it's not part of the default features from SAP Build. So we just build this as a custom option. So yeah, so now I'm just the delivery manager, so you can, it's more or less the same screen, except you could have some information here from the billing team. You can put as well some information on it's mandatory. So you have to put, okay, everything is fine, or you can accept or refuse or what you want. So here we just approve. And then it will go back one last time to the billing team here with more information. So it got approved. By default, we try to generate the email. So we have email title. So here, email content. It's since we want to have something special in terms of format. So it's in HTML. You can put here some recipient. So maybe if Josh, you can put your email on the chat. I can try to send it to you just to see if it's working.
Of course.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh,
It's pretty easy. It's Josh.Bentley,
yeah,
Bentley at SAP.
yeah.
And I love the attention. So
Yeah, you can just forward it, then play SAP.com. I guess, is it correct? Josh.Bentley. Okay, perfect. I just send this to you. And that's it. So now this billing document will be shared to you. On the system, you have just updated the baseline date. Before it was done manually. And yeah, so quite easy. We have no specific file to maintain, and everything is integrated seamless with SAP. Okay. So maybe I will just check my email. If it's already here or not. And if not, I will just continue and we'll just have a look after. Okay. You see here. So send to Josh. I mean this.
beautiful.
So it's in German because it's a German customer. And here, if you just open, yeah, you will get the invoice document. So quite correct. Okay. So now I'll just continue to the technical part. So as a foundation, we have S4NAP public cloud system, and we managed to create a solution without any specific development on the ERP. So we just leverage standard API. So we just turn on communication arrangement, communication system, and so on. We establish a link thanks to event mesh to just produce billing document events, so created, changed, and deleted. We just reuse our integration suite tenant to just collect those events and trigger the workflow engine with the API. With SAP Workzone, so we can just access inbox, visibility scenario, and any custom application to configure and manage this solution. We are also using CAP. I will just explain more a bit later. For storage, so with document service, that's the easiest way to just put some extra content during this workflow process. And it's basically you just turn on this service, you create a destination, and then you can just upload document. Since we have some configuration to do for this solution, we need some data persistency, so we just leverage PostgreSQL. Because CAP is agnostic, so we can use different DB layer. And next part may be important. We establish a link between our IS system and the Microsoft Entra ID. So this way, all users can use their own Nagarro account to log on through BTP. So you do not have to use a different password or anything. So it's quite seamless. Okay. And as IDE, we use Business Application Studio. We have two system landscape, so dev quality and production. So we somehow managed to use this TMS service to transport from one ENV to another one. And we also use CI/CD stuff to just build automatically this solution when we just push something in our GitHub account. Okay. So that's for the global architecture. Now I will try to do some specific focus on specific part of the solution. First one is really the triggering part. So an SAP S/4HANA, and it's working for cloud or on-prem or private cloud. You have an event broker inside. So it means you can just stream event almost in real time to an event mesh instance. So in our case, it's quite obvious because we want to start a workflow when we post a billing document. So it's really a way to trigger this kind of stuff in no time. Okay. So then it's quite basic. We just created three queue because we have 3 events. Each queue is consumed by Integration Suite. So you have 2 options when you work with Build actually. You can in Event Mesh create a webhook to just post all events directly to Build Process Automation. That's the first way. But I didn't choose this one actually because it will create a lot of instance and it will somehow pollute this visibility dashboard. So I wanted to use Integration Suite to just add some filter logic. Okay. So let's say we have a specific, maybe I can show you. We have a specific application here. And you can just basically put some criteria to just say, okay, I want to turn on the workflow system for France, for Denmark, for Germany. So you can just put here some stuff. And then Integration Suite will just read this configuration table and it will filter everything before triggering or not a workflow. In the same time, we also need to check that the billing document was posted. So by default, we have this status created, so it's not posted. And in this case, we don't want to create any workflow instance. Or sometimes, let's say you cancel a billing document. This case is more tricky because in this case, you need to cancel a workflow and you need to start a new one. So you can manage everything here. So it's a lot of flexibility. So I guess we have some questions. So did you reuse some business rule service in CAP? We did not use any business rule in SAP Build workflow. We just put all the logic inside CAP. What approach did you use? No, so we have two options actually to display PDF documents. So first one, if we are okay, it's quite complex. At Nagarro, we just by default display the default invoice document from SAP. So in this case, we are not storing anything in DMS. We just get a live stream from SAP itself. So it's more redirection. And sometimes for some reason, we can just create a kind of custom invoice document for specific customers. So we are not changing any amounts. It's just a matter of templates. So in this case, we are just getting the document from DMS. So
Yeah,
when
one comment is from Alan. He says the PDF seems like it's from the BTP doc service. So I don't know if you want to clarify that for Alan. And Mustafa and Volker, if that doesn't answer your questions, please ask in another way.
What was the
But
question?
yeah, Alan asked, is the PDF from the BTP doc service?
Nope, nope, no. It's just coming from SAP itself.
Okay.
Or from DMS if let's say you maybe for some customers they request to have all detail for all hours. So in this case we can just add this as an extra document and it will be stored in DMS system and then we'll send this out by email and yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you guys for the questions. Feel free to keep asking while this presentation is going. I don't want to take Fabien off of his flow, but that was a good point to stop
No,
for questions.
fine. I mean, we can try to take them on the fly. Okay, so it's interesting. I can maybe show you something interesting. Here. So it's basically just classic integration suite screen. And what is interesting as well to use integration suite is the traceability. So in the iFlow itself, we have implemented a so-called custom header on here. If I'm just putting the billing document number, I will say, okay, we got two events. First one, it was yesterday at 8:5. And we can see here, since the document was not posted, we didn't trigger any workflow. Okay, and in fact, posting status is B. Okay, so that's why we are not starting this. And then I guess my colleague Magda posted the document here. So still, we have the information here. And now, if we go to this log, we can see, okay, we started a workflow for this invoice. So it's really interesting when you have to, let's say, troubleshoot. It's really easy to determine where is the issue. Okay, maybe I can show you a bit of this workflow or integration flow. So I said we are using here AMQP. So we just use a classic event match queue processing. Yeah. So each time we have a customer invoice change event, we are starting this workflow. What else? So we check here. Do we need to start this workflow? So we just basically consume a CAP action with sales organization and so on to check, okay, do I need to start or not? Is it relevant or not for me? So it's the first check. Then we check, okay, is the document posted or not? If it's relevant, if document is posted, then we'll check, okay, do we have any existing workflow instance running? And if yes, we can just kill this instance and then start on trigger a new workflow. So it's not too complex at the end, but you do not have this flexibility without integration suite. Okay. So now I will focus on another part, which is actions. So in SAP, okay, okay. In SAP Build, so we have actions actually. It's heavily used in this solution, and we have forms. It's basically just a screen to interact with, and action. It's basically a call to an external API. Okay. In SAP Build workflow, you do not have any almost scripting capabilities. So it means you have to do it another way. Okay. With RPA, you can script, but not with build workflow. So what we did here, we just created on CAP a lot of action which are ready to use. It's a kind of library with all capabilities and from build. Let's say when you call this, okay, read billing document, you will call this the same CAP action, but then behind the scene, it will call maybe 5, 6, or different APIs. So you just get journal entry, billing document, business partner. So it will just ease the workflow itself. At the end, on the workflow, it's just basic stuff. Just you have process, some block, and that's it. So it's really a good mix between low code and pro code development. Maybe I can show you how it looks actions if you're not used to them. Okay, SAP build, actions. And here we have, I can test this action live actually. So action is linked to a destination. Here I do have one single parameters. I just test. And on the fly, it will consume my CAP service. And here you have all details you need in just one call. So you have customer, fiscal year amount, project details, customer details, and we also define different who will be the delivery or project manager, or who will be the person from the billing team as well. Okay, so it means we don't need to call any business rule in build workflow. We get all details with one single call. And it's just basic mapping stuff. So maybe I can show you. Okay. Invoice. It's a bit slow. Okay. Okay. Close and open again. Process. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so trigger of this workflow is API, okay? With we have different, I guess, I call yeah. So first action is we call this CAP action with one single parameters here. And then it's just a game of using actions and using forms. Okay. So at the end, it's really basic workflow. It's easy to maintain. So it's really, really interesting. And everyone can somehow build this kind of workflow when you have all capabilities ready to use. So really interesting. What else? Let me check.
So Fabian, just to interrupt you real quick, Mustafa in chat, Mustafa Benson, he posted that the new scripting functionality in BPA was demonstrated in a Devtoberfest session earlier today, and it's due for general availability in the next couple of weeks. Does that apply to kind of the problem you were just talking about?
Yeah, could be. I mean, I was not aware of these new capabilities. And 1 year ago, for sure, it was not yet available, but let's see. Let's see. I will
Okay,
for sure
awesome.
have a look on this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, with this design, you can, it's just powerful. You can use this for any workflow approbation, but at Nagarro, we have a lot of customer cases where we just automate some process based on these actions, on cap action, on build actions, actually. So quite interesting. Okay, so maybe I can go to the next slide, which is a visibility scenario. And it was one of the most pain points because yeah, we manage 15,000 invoice each year. And it's quite tricky to know, okay, what was validated on when, on by who. And yeah, so now with this workflow, it's super easy. I was really surprise, but you just have one element to create, which is a visibility scenario artifact. And then in a minute, you just deploy and you have this embedded analytics. And you can go to just high-level details to really invoice detail. So it's really amazing. It's one of the best features, I guess, from this workflow system. In terms of visibility for sure. So yeah, you just create this. You just import your process. By default, it will create some phases, some state, some status. So yeah, the only things you have to do is on the process itself, you have to pick some attributes here to say, okay, I want this information on the dashboard. You have a limit of 15 attributes, and then build workflow will process and create this for you automatically. Okay. Maybe I can show you how it looks. Monitoring. Oh, this one. Ah, so by default, you have a job which is running every 5 minutes. So it means you have a short delay between your action on your workflow, but it's not a big deal actually. Maybe I can try to search the invoice I've posted before. Okay. It's live demo. Maybe it's not working. Just refresh. And if it's not, I will just go to the next step. Okay. So maybe there is an issue. I will maybe raise an incident after the session, if you don't mind. Okay, I'll just go to the next step.
Look, you've already sent me an invoice I have to pay, so just send me
Yeah.
incidents. No, this is the beauty of doing a live demo. It shows people that not only is Devtoberfest for learning and education, it's experiential. You're actually seeing the experience of using the code live.
Yep, yep. But at least I've put a screenshot from, let's say, 1 hour ago. It was working. So anyway, but you can see it's really cool and nice UI. So it's really perfect. Next, authorization. So I will just detail a bit later, but this project we just deploy in 2 phases. In December last year, so we just roll out this workflow to 5 customers. And when we started, all roles was managed manually. Okay, so we had to put for each emails, okay, you have access to this, blah blah blah. And when we started in June, target was more than 200 users, and it was not possible at all to keep the same way. So what we did, basically, we just assign some group for some role collection. So just on BTP, you go to security, role collection, and here you just put, okay, 1, 2, or several different groups. And then in your cloud identity services, you will create a group with exactly the same name. And then inside this group, you can put any user you want. So we just created a group for billing team and so for project and delivery manager for each countries. So at the end, you just need to put someone in a group, and automatically you will have access to the related application. Okay, and you have nothing to manage on BTP. Okay, so quite interesting if you don't want to spend too much time on maintaining such kind of topic. Solution costs. So it's important. We wanted this solution to have a TCO which is not too expensive. So I didn't add here Integration Suite because we heavily use Integration Suite for external integration. So it was not mandatory to get a new instance, but basically the solution costs 1,000 euro each month, and it's a monthly cost because it's our first BTP solution for Nagarro. So now if we add more and more solution, maybe we can somehow reuse some of the services. But based on our current usage, an invoice costs actually 66 cents. Okay, so it's interesting as well to know this kind of metrics. Next, the planning. So actually we started in September last year with almost 3 months of design. So it's 3 months, but it's not full time because as I said, we are a service company, so we are mainly working for customer and not for internal topic. And yeah, in parallel, we just develop all the foundation layer. In December, we decided to go live with 5 customers to just get some feedback, what we need to improve, what we need to add. So at the end, it was quite impressive for us because we did not face any technical issue. So from just early January, we was able to just develop and add more capabilities without spending time on fixing stuff which are not working. So it's really important. And during this phase, yeah, we just implement this notification system. So every 15 minutes, when a new task is assigned, we just send an email to someone. When the tasks are overdue, each day we also send a reminder with all tasks and more and more small topic. Then end of April, our management said, okay, I want this solution to be live next week. So we had to manage, okay, how we'll integrate more than 200 users, configure everything. So it was a bit rushy, but we managed this and everything went smooth. Really no issue, stable. So again, starting June, we was able to work on new topics, create more features around this workflow. So it's really interesting. So one question, what was the biggest challenge of this project? Good question. What was the biggest challenge? I guess the biggest challenge was to get access to the system itself. Because everything is managed in India. And just to let you know, so I'm more developer than functional, but on the Nagarro system, I only have access to the test environment, so S4 test environment, but without any technical authorization. So each time I want to configure or activate something, I have to raise a ticket and to ask, okay, please, can you activate this communication scenario? And so on. So that's the biggest challenge for me actually. Because for customer, it's our daily business, but here you have to rely on someone else. Okay. So now we are 1 year away from this first go live. So I've just put here some key benefits. It's just direct input from our users. So it really saves times. It's easy to use. It saves money because at the end we reduce a lot all manual tasks. We have insights. We have this traceability dashboard, and it improves as well this dunning process because all data are accurate in the system. So we have many advantages. Do you have integration to Teams to trigger notification? No, not yet. They wanted to use email actually, so quite old. But anyway, we do have SAP Mobile Start, so we can link this portal to SAP Mobile Start, and they can use as well or receive some push notification. But yeah, they want email. But let's see. KPIs. So far, it's KPI from now. We have 230 users. In the last 5 months, we process 700 invoice, 7,000 invoice. We reduce the end-to-end process by more than 50%. So before it was between 2 and 3 weeks to get all stuff validated. Now it's around six days. We have 3 countries live, 2 are in process. So next one, I guess, will be Turkey and India. And total effort for this project was 44 days. So including design, development, support, go live, and improvement, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Outlook now. So what next? I was quite surprised that with SAP Build workflow, when you have a task, it goes to an inbox application, but then when users validated the task, it's gone. And now they want to know what they have validated. So we are just working now on this outbox application, so they will be able to see, okay, what they have validated, to see invoice preview on all that stuff when it was validated. So yeah. Before it was not an issue when there was only emails, but now they want a specific application to see this kind of stuff. So we want to roll out to more and more countries. We are thinking, okay, since this solution is built on BTP and it's kind of plug and play, maybe we can see if it's possible to somehow put this on SAP Store. E-document. So yeah, it's a hot topic now. More and more countries will join this e-document and compliance system. So we need to see how we can integrate somehow this e-document process with workflow capabilities. And last but not least, we want to turn on application lifecycle management to just monitor all operation on all services. So this way we'll know maybe if we have any issue before the customer. And I guess that's it for this presentation. We do have some questions. So do you use OAuth for basic or basic authentication? We are using basic authentication actually.
Awesome. Thanks for answering that. Okay, so you said that's the end of your presentation. I loved it. I think I would summarize it by saying that you definitely brought these customers into the digital age, but the dinosaur of email will never go away because it's like we're so used to it working. It's rock solid. And how could
Yeah.
you trust in something besides an email, right? So, but no, it's I think when you mentioned some of the things with SAP Mobile Start and the different ways that we're doing integrations, it's about an evolution and a workflow, just like going from the Stone Age to Bronze Age to the
Yeah.
Information Age. All these things that are happening within SAP are changing quickly. And I would say that everybody watching Devtoberfest will see that we are doing sessions like this with you to show the real world stuff without going right to the art of the possible, because sometimes that still needs to be figured out and the features take a year before they've been changed to get the feedback from the customers using them. And as you mentioned, hundreds of customers at your place, a few people are in charge of making these changes, so a lot of moving pieces. Looks like one more question came in while we were talking here. A very interesting solution, pulling all different skills and BTP apps and services together. It gives you awesome ideas on building the next great solution. Thank you for that comment, Alan. And Jade said, thank you for the presentation. It was very helpful. So any other closing thoughts from you before we end the stream?
No, I mean, it was really interesting for me, and I'm really happy to just share this with everyone and hope it will help and encourage maybe people to start and do something. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. I will say thank you again for that. And I will also mention that the contest was started this week, the Devtoberfest contest. So if you want to be a grand prize winner like Fabien, you need to earn some points. So I put in the chat there a list of all the different points earnings activities. Daniel has a quiz that he put out there. There will be a tutorial that you can answer some questions about this presentation later tonight. And also this week is Pettoberfest on Friday. It's so it's a week-long event where you can post a picture of you with your pet, a real pet, an AI pet. I've got a cat that lives in my house that I don't really like, but he's a member of the family. And so we have two cats actually. And if you want one of them, please reach out to me and let me know. But anyway, post a picture. It's a quick and easy way to earn 1,000 points towards the contest. So that is it from us here for this session of Devtoberfest. We're at the end of day 2, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow and the rest of the 5 weeks of Devtoberfest with that one break in the middle for Tech Ed. That's it. Thank you very much. And Fabien, stay on for 1 second, and we'll say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot.
All right. The streaming should be ended. And we are on Zoom. Let me finish these.